What world was this, I wonder? And how did the Legion find their way here? This mausoleum belonged to the Gundrex, an old and unlucky family.
Dark Sister's name? Are you some ghost of the Legion, here to avenge your comrades?
I'm no ghost, but I will have revenge for my brothers and sisters.
Will you indeed? We shall see.
Your confidence only proves that you are ignorant, witch.
How can you hope to best us when the dead themselves answer our call? Kill them! May the Dark Sister guide you!
Rajani is close. I can feel her eyes upon us.
The girl. I know her. Is this some kind of ruse?
Me? You're mistaken. We've never met.
Whatever illusions you've spun, you won't break my resolve. Not even with such a cruel trick. My lady charged me to stop you, and I will not fail. You'll not defeat me so easily. You will burn! If you had run, you might have lived. have lived. I need help. I will not fail, my lady.
I am in your debt.
Thank you. I heard the commotion upstairs. That woman! She's not dead?
Rajani is beaten, but she isn't dead.
Well, we shall soon remedy that. How dare she march an army into Ravensrill and murder good sons of the Legion? I'll see her hang!
You're Lazar Basili, the boyar of the town?
Boyar is an old and stuffy title. Lazar is fine, especially among friends.
You're the only prisoner? Rajani didn't lock anyone else down here?
With Lascanzi walking the streets? No need. My people fear the Witchmen. They're the villains of every bedtime story, and most of those stories are true.
We should get back upstairs.
Quite right. Before Rajani wakes.
The town is ours. They're fleeing into the woods in total disarray.
What about Rajani? You saw how she fights. She calls fire at will, and her eyes, they're like mine.
Who are you, girl? You look like someone I knew. You speak with her voice. But that woman is dead and gone.
Anjali is one of us. A child of the Legion. Like me.
My friend speaks the truth, Rajani. Whoever you think I am, you're wrong.
Or perhaps you're a false prophet meant to lead me astray. If you fight for the Legion, you're an enemy. Nothing more.
The Legion's done nothing to you.
My lady has told me of the Legion's crimes. She defeated you once, and she'll defeat you again.
Jane Cassinda. The old enemy. 30 years on and she's still hunting the Legion.
And why should she not? You're traitors, kingslayers, murderers.
How can we be a threat to you? We don't even know who you are.
She's an Archon! I know it sounds mad, but look at her. Just like the stories, only she's real.
What do these stories say about Archons?
They were divine messengers, heralds of the old creator gods. You see their pictures in books. Statues of them are supposed to bring luck.
Kingslayers? Murderers? What does she mean?
Lies. Stories that the old king was murdered by the Legion. That's how Jane Cassinda turned the people against us. She claimed that the Legion betrayed its oath, tried to seize power for itself.
They're not lies. My lady spoke the truth. But believe what you want.
We have to decide what to do with her. Suggestions?
She attacked a defenseless town, murdered your friends at the estate. Why are we discussing this? Kill her and let justice be done.
Wait. Listen to her words. She's misguided, confused. She fears us. Killing her wouldn't be justice. She's yielded. What if we set her free? Show Jane Cassinda that the Legion still has honor.
Rajani, you're free to go. We're not your enemies, and we never were.
You're mad. Now my lady will know your strength. Next time she'll send more of us against you. But if that's what you want, then I'll go.
I agree with the armored wench. You are mad, both of you, stark and raving.
No. We planted a seed. Now we wait and see how it grows. Come. We should return to the chapter house and decide our next move. Unless you still have business here.
I'm ready. Our business here is done.
Against the might of the 10th Legion, even the Archon Rajani could not stand. Jane Cassinda's lieutenant was vanquished, her mercenaries' hold on the Rukkenval broken. In times past, the Legion's judgment was merciful and fair, and you chose to spare her life. Who can say how an unexpected mercy might change an enemy's heart? As the folk of the Rill said about rebuilding, we prepared for our next move. Our old enemy was stronger than she had ever been, and she still plotted our demise. The Rukkenval chapter house would not be our sanctuary, but a staging ground for what was to come. Martin tells me that Jane Cassinda was behind this. She acted fast. That means she's afraid.
Rajani was full of lies about the Legion. We set her free as a sign of goodwill. If we can make Jane see that she's wrong.
You're an idealist, Martin. Don't assume our enemies have honor. Least of all, Jane Cassinder.
Why is Jane Cassinder so determined to kill us?
The woman's a mystery. Always has been. As far as we know, she was raised by the Azanite Church. An orphan, maybe. Or a rich man's bastard daughter. Must have been 18, 19 years old when the king died. She paraded through the streets of Bisselberg, claimed he'd been murdered by the Legion.
Was there any truth in what she said?
No. My father would never have died for the Legion if he'd believed Jane's lies.
Some legionnaires did believe. Bohemond of Sedelis, Garin Marcel, prominent men. They renounced the Legion, stood by while the rest of us were hunted and killed.
Why did anyone listen to Jane?
She was young, beautiful, full of passion. Spoke like she truly loved the king, but she couldn't have known him. Half the country was in love with her. A living saint, they called her. Still do out east where the church is strong. And people were jealous. We'd grown too rich and too fat. That was the Legion's sin, if you ask me.
So Jane turned the people against us. What then?
Jane had the church behind her. She raised mobs in the cities, Bisselberg first, and the towns of the east. Then Stonebridge, Glacier, everywhere else. In Stonebridge, the Legionnaires refused to fight, wouldn't raise their hands against the people, just stood there and died. Montbaron made his last stand here, in Rukenval. The people here stayed loyal, so Jane had to march an army north. You know how it ended.
And you were the only survivor. How did you escape?
I don't die easy, and I don't believe in noble last stands. Far as I'm concerned, the war's still on, even if I'm the last soldier in the field, until I put a knife in Jane Cassinder's eye.
Our numbers are too few. Can we find more men and women of Legion blood?
Might be a few left. Not enough to build an army. But if we spread the word that the Legion has returned, we can rally Jane's enemies against her. We should start by reclaiming the Grand Chapter House, the old Legion headquarters in Stonebridge.
So the Stonebridge chapter house is different than the others?
It's bigger, grander. They built it during our Golden Age after the heroes destroyed the Sec. We claim that chapter house, hang our banners out front, people will hear that the Legion's returned.
Are you sure the chapter house wasn't destroyed?
By the people of Stonebridge? No, they never would. It's their mark of shame. Reminds them how they betrayed the Legion, and they don't dare forget.
Have you heard any news from Stonebridge?
If I had to guess, more smokestacks, more spinning machines, more metal men clanking through the streets.
How do we get to Stonebridge then?
Stonebridge lies to the south and west, on the far side of the swamp. Lazar's people have repaired the bridge, so the road should be open again.
Martin and I will stay here for now. Help the locals rebuild.
We owe them. They've endured a great deal for our sake.
We have a causeway gate here. Surely there must be another in Stonebridge.
There is, but it's shut. Montbaron ordered most of them closed to stop Jane Cassinder from using them against us. A causeway gate can only be opened from the outside, and only by a privileged few.
Why send me? We could all go together.
The Radiant Youth chose you for a reason. You're meant to lead us, not Martin, not me.
All right. I'll head south for Stonebridge.
Jane Cassinder controls most of the land between here and Stonebridge. Her soldiers wear the raiment of the Azanite Church. Avoid them if you can.
Once you're inside the chapter house, look for the causeway gate. Open it, and you can bring the rest of us through.
You're the vanguard of the Legion. All our hopes go with you.
Off to Stonebridge, I hear? Before you depart, I have something I would discuss with you if you're willing. The Lascanzi occupation depleted the town's stores. If we cannot replenish them soon, Raven's Rill may not survive the winter. I know the Legion has done a great deal for us already, but I fear I must ask your help again.
I take it you have a plan?
Indeed. Raven's Rill sees few travelers these days, but I believe the Hero's Crypt could draw pilgrims from across Ebb as it once did. With pilgrims would come merchants, and the town could fill its larders before the winter.
Tell me about this Hero's Crypt.
The Hero's Crypt is where the heroes of the Sect Resurgence were interred. It was considered a holy site, and pilgrims flocked to it. After the crypt was sealed, the pilgrims stopped coming. I believe that if we open it again, we can bring prosperity back to Raven's Rill.
Why would a holy site be sealed in the first place?
I'm not entirely sure. It happened just before the fall of the Legion.
Why do you need the Legion's help?
The doors of the monument are sealed by Legion magic. They are impervious to any form of counter-magic or physical destruction. They can only be opened by the signet rings of the Legion families who commissioned its construction, the Montbarons and the Gundricks. I understand you found both signet rings already. The crypt should open for you now.
I'll do what I can.
Excellent. Look for the two large statues outside the monument. I'll fetch Grigori. We'll need a scribe to document this historic event.
Beware! You are dead! Look, the bridge is repaired, just as Martin said.
There you are. This may sound strange, but I was told to wait for you here.
Told? By whom?
A child. A boy with golden hair and piercing eyes, who spoke like no child I have ever met.
Did you follow us into the Mornweald?
No. He came to me in a waking dream. I know better than to doubt a vision, especially one so clear. My father was Hugh Montbaron, Grand Master of the Legion. A proud man, I'm told, but not immune to my mother's seduction.
Illegitimate, perhaps, but I think she tells the truth. I've seen paintings of the Montbarons, and she has the same pale eyes. The resemblance is striking, actually, especially to Hugh.
I do not know why this golden child chose me, but I believe I can be of help to the Legion, if you let me.
Your mother seduced my father? So, the stories about the Skansi witches are true.
What stories are those? The ones told to jealous wives by poxy-faced men? Of black-hearted witches who ravished them in the dark of night? Those stories are fancies, but they hide a deeper truth. Leskansi witches have discerning taste. We will seduce a foreign man, but only if he is strong, clever, handsome.
He'd pass those traits to your children, and your clan would be stronger.
We are a practical race, no? 500 years of wandering has taught us to claim any advantage we can.
Does your sister know that you're planning to leave?
Leona's word does not bind me. I decide whose company I keep. And she knows better than to forbid me what I want. If only the rest of the world knew the same, life would be much simpler.
So you haven't told her?
Not exactly, but we'll be long gone before she finds out, no?
If you're a Montbaron, then you're part of the Legion, and my family. We could use your help.
Even if the child had not appeared to me, you are family. Of course I will help. We journey south, no? To Stonebridge? I know the roads, and charming company makes long miles less dreary.
Hold on there. The roads ahead aren't safe. Heavy smoke down there. From the looks of it, there was another battle in the swamp. Azunite Church on one side, Royalists on the other. They're always at it. I was questioned by soldiers down the road. They were Azunites, Jane Cassinder's men, and not a friendly lot.
Any opinion on the church soldiers? You seem to have run into them before.
The church army is the right hand of Jane Cassinder, but these men seemed more mercenary than proper soldier. They may call her a living saint, but any woman who hires Lescanzi thugs must be a little crooked. That's just what I think.
Have you dealt with the Royalists before?
They don't harass me on the road, so that makes them at least a touch better than Jane's soldiers. I think they're an honorable lot, but I don't see them winning this war. They'll die for a queen who's the last of her line, and barely more than a girl.
Fighting the swamp? Doesn't seem like the best place for a battle.
The Royalists are holed up in the Glitterdelve mine to the northwest, and Jane's army marches from the Azunite coast southeast of here. This swamp has the misfortune of being right between the two. This certainly isn't the first time we've had trouble here. Why I still take these routes, I don't know.
Thanks for the warning. I'll be careful.
I'll stay up here for a while, see if things calm down.
I wonder what caused this. In any case, we shall not pass this way, I think.
By order of Jane Cassinder, none shall pass this. Ah! You idiot engineers! Get them!
And that takes care of that.
They must be with the Royalists. Get them!
Anyone that kills Azanites is a friend of ours. General Devonsey is further on ahead. Just follow the path. Anyone that kills Azanites is a friend of ours. General Devonsey is further on ahead. Just follow the path.
Jane's fanatics have won the day, it seems.
Stand away there. Not so close to the General.
Never mind. I can hardly be called a general, with Her Majesty's army lying dead all around us.
Sorry, Lord Devonsey. Sir.
Forgive the boy. A few months ago he was a royal page. Now he's a soldier. Such are the depths to which we have fallen. I'm surprised to see any travelers on the road, with so many of Jane Cassinder's soldiers about. What brings you to this ill-omened place?
We were sent by the Legion. We're heading south to reclaim the old chapter house in Stonebridge.
The Legion? So the rumors are true. A gathering in the north. The rebirth of the old Legion. That's beside the point, though. I'm afraid you're stuck here with the rest of us. The western road has collapsed and we're surrounded on all sides by impassable swamp.
What forces do you have left?
Only the baggage train and a few cannons. One of my officers, Roderick, had command of the baggage train. He managed to keep the wagons out of sight, hid them under those massive roots. Unfortunately, the men who are guarding the wagons are my greenest troops, former servants and the like. The only blades they've ever wielded are kitchen knives.
All the dead soldiers were yours? How did this happen?
Jane Cassinder's army was encamped in the swamp. I thought I'd catch her unaware, send her scrambling back to the spire. So I force-marched out of Glitterdale, sighted her troops at the base of the cliffs, and gave chase. In the first charge, we drove half her forces into the bogs. I could see Jane, not 50 feet from my lines. She had nowhere to run.
You smelled victory, and that's when the battle turned.
Jane sent a few of her sappers round back of my lines. They collapsed the roads behind me. A clever move, I'll give her that. Half my army, the young ones mostly, saw their escape route cut off. Didn't matter that we were winning. They panicked, broke and ran. Some of the veterans held their ground and died where they stood. The rest retreated here.
She boxed you in, with her forces on one side and the bogs on the other.
Killed half my people with the cannons. The rest tried to flee into the bogs and drowned. And here I am, trapped in this swamp, cut off from the Queen. She has only her maids to protect her now.
What about those massive roots? We can walk across them like a road.
Indeed, they'd support her weight, and my cannons and wagons too. But the roots are separated by stretches of water. In order to create a path, we'd have to raise the land between them. Impossible, you might say. But I have a man in my army with power over earth and stone. A scholar called Phineas. If only he were here.
This Phineas can raise a land bridge between the roots? How is that possible?
He's made a study of earth magic. Geomancy. The old magic of the dwarves. It's all very incomplete, but a movement of earth by simple brute force. Yes, I think he could manage that much.
You've actually seen Phineas use earth magic?
When Jane's cannons had us surrounded, somehow he drew the earth up over our heads, protected us both from the enemy's fire. Saved my life. That's proof enough for me.
We need to find this scholar, Phineas. Where is he gone?
He was among the first to be taken by the damned savages. They fell upon us not long after the battle, and they've been mounting raids and abducting our wounded ever since. First people, that's what the scholars call them. Only Azanai knows what they call themselves. I'd thought of mounting an attack on their village to rescue Phineas and the others, but my surviving soldiers are too few and too young. If I had your help, though...
Let's try talking to the first people before we do anything rash. Maybe they mistook you for a threat.
A reasonable theory, but I've met their kind before. Scavengers preying upon the weak and the wounded. They won't negotiate unless you hold a sword to their throats. I'll gather whatever men I can, the ones who can still fight, and we'll meet you there.
I saw you speaking with the General. We must be in dire straits to rely on passers-by. But Lord Devonsey has seen fit to trust you. You already know of the savages in the bog. Beastly lot they are. Some of our best soldiers were captured in their raids. Others have gone missing. We sent scouting parties into the bog. I armed them as best I could, but baggage train attendants are hardly soldiers. They haven't returned for hours.
This was a massacre. How did you survive the battle?
We panicked. Well, the young soldiers did anyway. After Jane collapsed the road behind us. We were so close to victory. I kept the baggage train here instead of risking an escape. The enclosure gave us just enough cover to survive the assault.
A swamp is hardly a place for heavy wagons. Was your cargo worth the trouble?
Basic supplies needed for the troops, but also cannons, powder kegs, and the like. Perhaps we could find a way out of this muck-ridden cesspool on foot, but those cannons are needed in Glitterdelve.
If your people are raw recruits, they won't survive long in the swamp. Let me look for your missing soldiers.
You surprise me. I can offer you little more than some extra supplies, and my thanks. Look for them to the east, out in the bog. We sent out 2 scouting parties. Hopefully the swamp hasn't claimed them. Devonsey won't permit any more of us to leave camp, so you're the only chance they'll get.
Jane Cassinder is clearly no fool. Her cannons are perfectly positioned to bombard the Royalist lines. So close, and yet so far. A shame we cannot easily cross these routes, no?